Hey everyone, here is my unboxing video for the new Magic the Gathering set, War of the Spark. I was able to get this box during pre-release weekend because I had pre-ordered it at my local game shop, which also allowed me to get this really cool buy a box promo of Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. The only way you can get this really cool card is when you buy a box at your local game shop. So be sure to support your local game shop and go pick up a box there. So let's put that aside and let's open it up and see what we get. So apparently in War of the Spark, there's 36 Planeswalker cards in this set, and you're supposedly supposed to get a Planeswalker in every pack. So let's see if that holds true. I'll just set that over here out of the way, and we'll just start opening up, see what we get. Contentious Plan, Salmon Sprint. Martyr for the Cause, Proliferate is a big deal in this set. A lot of cards that give counters and allow you to proliferate, so there's a lot of fun you can have there. Pre-release weekend was really cool, being able to take advantage of some of those mechanics. Amass is another new one where you get to put a 1/1 counter on an army you control, but if you don't control an army, you get to create a 0/0 black zombie army creature token first, and then put the counter on it. So that's a lot of fun, being able to create those armies and getting them bigger and just beating face with them if you can. So we go through the commons here, and now we've got our uncommons. Bond of Discipline, Bond of Revival, and there's our first Planeswalker, Obnixilis. You can see he's an uncommon Planeswalker with the static ability and then a minus ability. The rare ones usually have a plus ability, and I think the mythic ones actually have 1 or 2 plus abilities. We'll find out. Hopefully we'll get Liliana or Nicol Bolas and find out for sure. But there's our first uncommon Planeswalker, Obnixilis, and there's our rare Living Twister. Allows you to discard a land card to do 2 damage to any target. You can also return a tap land you control to its owner's hand. So that could be a lot of fun. And of course your land and token. Alright, pack number 2. Again, more of the same with the commons. Sorin's Thirst, that's not too bad. Death Touch. This guy's a lot of fun in a limited format. Unless he's being played against you, then he's not a lot of fun at all. Mana Geode, another mana dork for commanders. Thunder Drake's a lot of fun. Another Charmed Stray, just like my cat. Alright, here we go. Mayhem Devil, another Bond of Revival. And here's our second Planeswalker. Now we got a Dovin Bond. Hand of Control. Artifact, instant, sorcery spells your opponent's cast cost 1 colorless more to cast, and his minus ability till your next turn prevent all damage that would be dealt to and dealt by target permanent opponent controls. So yeah, that could be a lot of fun. And then Blast Zone enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it. Pay X twice to put an X charge counter on Blast Zone, sacrifice it, destroy each non-land permanent with converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters. So that's a nice little board wipe. Take care of those zombie tokens with 0 charge counters on it. Here's your commons in pack number 3. Can't be blocked by creatures power 4 or greater. Cool. There's another Amass card with the zombie army. Yeah. Okay. Johnny's Pride Mates back in this set. Oh. Firemind Vessel's pretty cool. Saheeli, she's a pretty cool Planeswalker. I'm definitely going to put her in my Brea commander deck, but she's pretty cool. And Deliver Unto Evil. I love the artwork on this card. I think the artwork on this card is pretty amazing. Let me see if I can get a pretty good picture of that. It's pretty sweet. They did a playmat of that. I'll have to get my hands on that. Maybe. I don't know. I keep talking myself out of it. Choose up to 4 target cards in a graveyard. In your graveyard, if you control a Bolas Planeswalker, you get to return those cards to your hand. Otherwise, an opponent chooses 2 of them. Leave the chosen cards in your graveyard and put the rest into your hand, and then you exile this. So definitely worth playing if you have a Bolas Planeswalker. Pack number 4. Trusted Pegasus. Rowell's Outburst. Tybalt's Rager. 10th District Legionnaire. So I didn't get a Planeswalker in this one. Does that mean that's going to be my rare? It sure is, and it's one I'm actually really excited about. I was hoping to get Karn, the Great Creator. His static ability is activated abilities of artifacts your opponents control can't be activated, so that's pretty cool. His +1 until your next turn, up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness each equal to its converted mana cost. Nice. His minus ability, you may choose an artifact card you own from outside the game or in exile, reveal that card, and put it into your hand. Pretty awesome. I like it. I'm very happy with that. I was hoping to get one over pre-release weekend, a date-stamped one, but I wasn't fortunate enough to get one, but I'll settle for that for sure. Pack number 5. Banehound's really nice. 1 black for a 1/1 with lifelink and haste. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that card. I like that. I like cheap creatures with a lot of effects. Very efficient. Very cool. Storm Citadel. Mawu, he's pretty fun. Anytime you put a counter on him, you get to put that many +1 more onto him. So that's really cool. Another Ob Nixilis. And we got a Niv Mizzet. When he enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library for each color pair. Choose a card that's exactly those colors from among them. Put the chosen cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This card makes my head hurt trying to figure out how to make it work, but I guess it's pretty cool. So I'll just put it in there. And then, of course, a foil common. Alright. But that is our first mythic of the box, so hopefully it's one of many to come. Gideon's Sacrifice. I haven't read the book yet, but it's pretty obvious what's happening there. Teferi's Time Twist. That would be really good with these uncommon planeswalkers. Once you get them down, their loyalty counters down where you can't use them anymore. You can just, blink them out, have them come back in with more of their counters so you can keep doing their abilities. This is a great 1-drop card too. Like, I really like the Death Hound because he's 1 black, 1/1 lifelink haste. But this guy here, a 0/3 with reach for 1 green that also lets you put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Great turn 1 play to help you get advantage on your land. Alright. Rescuer Phoenix, Dovin's Veto, Ingrath, Captain of Chaos. Creatures you control have menace. Amass 2 for a -2. Not bad at all. And an Oath of Kaya. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. Nice. Whenever an opponent attacks a planeswalker you control with 1 or more creatures, it deals 2 damage to that player and you gain 2 life. Very nice. Pretty happy with that. Alright, next up. Let's see what's in this one here. Guild Globe's not too bad. 2 mana to be able to draw a card. And then if you're trying to play a bunch of different colors, maybe you don't want to try to splash in, you want to do 3 colors, but maybe you just want that 4th color just, for 1 card. This would be a great way to get that taken care of. Plus you get to draw a card out of it. Can't go wrong there. There's the Kaya Planeswalker to go with the Oath. And Narset's Reversal. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. Then return it to its owner's hand, and then you get to choose new targets for the copy. So that's pretty sweet for 2 blue. And Kaya herself is pretty nice. Your opponents and permanents your opponents control with hexproof can be targets of spells and abilities you control as though they didn't have hexproof. So that'd be nice. And her -3, you get to exile a target creature. So you get to do that twice. So that's not bad for a total of 6 mana. Not bad at all. And that's the thing about these uncommon planeswalkers. They're really not that bad as far as like cost to put them on the board, what their abilities do, and even how many times you can do it. It's a pretty good value. I'm excited to see where Standard's going to go with those cards, because I can tell you Limited's a lot of fun with them, but not sure about Constructed. And there's our other Planeswalker, Zhang Yangu, Wildcrafter. Each creature you control with a counter on it has add 1 mana of any color. His minus ability is to put a counter on target creature, so that's nice. Dreadhorde Invasion. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and amass 1, so you get to put a counter on an army. Whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink until end of turn. So that's a lot of fun to help bring back that life you've been losing every upkeep. It's especially nice in a life gain deck, so you don't have to worry about losing that life. Let's see what we got in this one. Leyline Prowler. Death Touch Lifelink, add 1 mana of any color. Nice. 3 mana for a 2/3 that has those abilities. Not too bad. Ugin's Conjurance, a lot of fun. Jai is our new Planeswalker. If another red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage plus 1 to the permanent player instead. And then she deals 2 damage, so that would make it 3 damage, so that's nice. Parhelion 2. 2 white and 6 colors for a 5/5 vehicle with flying, first strike, vigilance. 4 to crew, but whenever it attacks, you get to create 2 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance that are attacking. Pretty sweet. If you can get it out, that is pretty awesome, actually. It's really nice. Another Mana Geode, very nice. I like that card. 3 mana comes into play, you get the scry, and you get to add 1 mana every color. I like it. I like it a lot. She's not too bad either. This is good. More burn. Nope, it's gone. Menace, sacrifice another creature or planeswalker, put 2 counters on it. Not too bad. 1/1 with Menace for 1. Gleaming Overseer. Jace. That's the first one of those for me. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. It's a nice twist. +1 ability, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard, draw a card. The -8 ability is draw 7 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. So basically, get rid of your deck so you can win the game. Not too bad, I guess. And then another foil. Another main geode. A flying merfolk. That's not too bad. This Gleaming Overseer we got in the last pack. I like this one because zombie tokens you control have hexproof and menace. So I could see some fun stuff happening with that. Another Ugin's Conduit. And another Planeswalker. Rowlstorm Conduit. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Rowlstorm Conduit deals 1 damage to target opponent or Planeswalker. Plus ability lets you scry 1, -2. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell. You can choose new cards for the card. That's pretty cool. And on to the next pack. Not too bad. Not too bad. Classic Giant Growth. I like this card. 1 black, 1 white. Exile target permanent with converted mana cost 4 or greater. And I love the flavor text on it too. Sunblade Angel, not bad in a limited format. Neoform's pretty cool. And then we have another Planeswalker, Vivian, Champion of the Wilds. You can cast creature spells as though they had flash. Her +1 ability until your next turn. Up to 2 target creatures gain vigilance and reach. -2, look at the top 3 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. For as long as it remains exiled, you can look at that card and you can cast it if it's a creature card. Pretty cool. And it was really hard for me to read all that, knowing that I had this foil Ajani right behind it. That makes me happy. Ajani's one of my favorite Planeswalkers. So being able to get a foil one of this is pretty sweet. Let's see here. Creatures I control have vigilance. His +1 ability, I gain 3 life. And the -2 ability puts a 1/1 counter on each creature I control and a loyalty counter on each other planeswalker I control. So that's pretty good for 4. Not bad at all. Next pack. Put our commons over there. Up to 1 target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, and then you get to amass 2, so that's pretty cool. Samet. Not too bad. Creatures you control have haste. She comes in with 5 loyalty counters. -1, target creature gets +2/+1 and gains haste till end of turn. I know it's kind of redundant, but you get +2/+1 and you get the scry for a minus ability, and that's not bad at all. And our second blast zone, and another foil. There's our Grazer again. Divine Arrow's pretty cool. Huatli's Raptor. 1 green, 1 white for 2/3 with vigilance. Nice value there. When it enters the battlefield, you proliferate. Though, so everything about this card is really nice. God Pharaoh statue is really cool. Spells your opponent's cast cost 2 colorless more to cast. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses 1 life. Pretty nice. And here's our Planeswalker for this pack, Huatli, which makes sense since we got her Raptor. 3 mana for 7 loyalty. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. And her -3 ability, you gain life equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. So the fact that you can do that twice, and if you're playing green, you probably got creatures with big butts, so that's really cool. And then Massacre Girl, 2 black, 3 colorless for a 4/4 with Menace. When she enters the battlefield, each other creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. Whenever a creature dies this turn, each creature other than Massacre Girl gets -1/-1 till end of turn. So that's kind of cool. Definitely do some tricks there. That's a good card. I like the New Horizons a lot. You get to put a counter on something and you get them a land that lets you add 2 mana of any one color, so that's pretty cool. Gideon's Triumph is nice. Another Neoform. Kasmina's our new Planeswalker. Spells your opponent's cast that target a creature or Planeswalker you control cost 2 colorless more to cast. She has 5 loyalty counter, -2, gets you a 2/2 blue wizard creature token, draw a card, then discard a card. Not too bad. And then Bolas's Citadel. Pretty good card if you can get it pulled off. You get to look at the top card of your library anytime. You can play the top card of your library. If you cast the spell this way, you pay life equal to its converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. And then you can tap it, sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. Pretty cool. Especially if they're at 10 life. Not so cool if they're at more than 20. But it helps. I like this card here. Blue, colorless, enchanted creature. It loses all abilities and has base power and toughness with 1/1. That's a lot of fun. Another Guild Globe. Another Bonded Discipline. Eternal Taskmaster. New Planeswalker Kiora. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. She comes with 7 loyalty counters on her. Her -1 is untapped target permanent. That's a lot of value there for 3. Ilrog the Razeboar. This is exciting. 2 red, 3 colorless for a 6/6 trampler. There we go. Put it down there so you can see it better. Whenever the Razeboar attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Return that creature to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. When Ilrog the Razeboar dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. That's pretty awesome, actually. That's a lot of fun. And our second mythic of the box. Arlen's our new Planeswalker. It's the first one I've pulled of her. 2 green, 4 colorless for 7 loyalty. Each creature you control that's a wolf or a werewolf enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Her minus ability is create a 2/2 green wolf creature token, so that's pretty cool. And a time wipe. Return a creature you control to its owner's hand and destroy all creatures. Nice. That's a nice board wipe. Put some in your hand that has haste, and you can have twice as much fun. Another God Pharaoh statue, and a regular Ajani. I'm not going to be upset about having 2 Ajanis, especially if one of them's foil. Though that does give me a playset now thanks to the pre-release. I pulled a couple during pre-release, so guess I'm making a green-white deck. There's that Leyline Prowler again, Flux Channeler. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, proliferate, so that's nice. Eternal Taskmaster. Ugin the Ineffable. That's my second. Well, that's my third one. Nice. Colorless spells you cast cost 2 colorless less to cast them. It's +1 ability. Exile the top card of your library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token. When that token leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into your hand. And then the -3 destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. I love this plus ability for those spirits, because then you can just swing out with the spirits and they'll either take the 2 or let it die so that you can get that card in your hand. So if you got something sweet, then that works out really great. And then another foil. I like the artwork on this Gateway Plaza versus the artwork on the one, what was it, from Ravnica, from Allegiance, I think? Or no, Guilds of Ravnica, I think is when I had it. Maybe it was in both. It's hard to keep them all straight. Chandra's Triumph deals 3 damage target creature or planeswalker and opponent controls. If you have a Chandra, planeswalker deals 5 damage instead. Nice. Invade the city. Nahiri, that's my first one. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have first strike and equip abilities you activate cost 1 colorless less to activate. She has a -X ability. It deals X damage to target tapped creature. So if you got a way of raising that loyalty up, that makes that really great. Oh, nice. My third mythic, God Eternal Ronus. 2 green, 3 colorless for a 5/5 with Death Touch. When he enters the battlefield, double the power of each other creature you control until end of turn. Those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. When he dies, or is put in exile from the battlefield, put a 3rd from the top in your library instead. The only way this could be better is if your creatures had trample. But this card's great. I'm pretty excited about that. This is a good card too. The 0/4, but it gets X + 0 until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. He's nice. I had that played against me. It wasn't so nice. Davril, Rogue Shadow Mage. I love how they had the artwork go over the name, kind of blurring it out. It's kind of messy, but whatever. 1 black, 2 colorless for 3 loyalty. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, he does 2 damage to them. And then his minus ability makes them discard a card. Pretty cool. And then Krinko, the 10 Street Kingpin. Whenever he attacks, put a 1/1 counter on him. Then create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to Krinko's power. So, lots of fun. Especially in a goblin deck. Paradise Steward's pretty cool. 2/1 for 1 green, 1 colorless. As long as it's untapped, it has hexproof. Get to tap it for 1 mana of any color. Not too bad. Challenger Troll's a lot of fun. Another Ingrath. And Commence the Endgame. This spell cannot be countered. Draw 2 cards, then amass X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Nice. 2 blue and 4 colorless. That's a good card. I like that card. Courage and Crisis. Bloomhook's pretty cool too. 4/4 for 4, and then you also get to proliferate when he enters the battlefield. Not too bad. Another Huatli's Raptor. Will I get another Huatli Planeswalker? Nope. Tibble. Your opponents can't gain life. His -2 ability, create a 1/1 Red Devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And then here's Single Combat. I don't know how I feel about this card. I think I like this card. 2 white, 3 colorless. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifices the rest. Both players can't cast creature or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn. So you get like a whole turn of everybody just not doing anything. But that can be a good thing, especially if they're doing more than you were. Here's that Menace Cat again. Invade the city. Amass X, where X is the number of instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard. Not that bad. Here's our Planeswalker, the Wanderer. I like her a lot. I got to play her during pre-release. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and other permanents you control. So none of those battle tricks with like the Divine Arrow or anything like that. That's pretty sweet. And her -2 ability is exile target creature with power 4 or greater. So I like it. And Feather the Redeemed. She's a pretty cool card. 2 white, 1 red for a 3/4 flyer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature you control, exile that card instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. If you do, return to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So you get to just keep using those little battle trick cards. It's nice. Banehound. Bond of Passion. 2 red, 4 colors. Gain control of target creature at the end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste. And Bond of Passion deals 2 damage to any other target. Nice. Desperate. Love the artwork on this card too. Pledge of Unity is really nice. 1 green, 1 white, a colorless. Put a counter on each creature you control, and then gain life for each creature you control. Yes. 4th Mythic. Liliana Dreadhorde General. 2 black, 4 colorless. She actually only has 1+ ability, but her static ability, whenever creature you control dies, draw a card. Her +1 ability, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. She has 2 minus abilities though. -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. -9, each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifices the rest. Somebody actually got to do that against me during pre-release. Thank you, Darren. And yeah, it was nice to witness. It was just horrible to have it happen to me, but it's still pretty cool. Love the artwork on it too. I'm very happy to have that card. I like this card too. I've seen this in some earlier packs. 1 green, 2 colorless. 2 creatures you control each deal damage equal to their power to another target creature. They don't fight, they just deal the damage, and that's what I like about it. About Riders, another Firemind Vessel. Teo the Shield Mage, 1 white, 2 colorless. You have Hexproof. And his -2 is create a 0/3 white wall creature token with Defender. Nice. And a Bioessence Hydra. Trample. Enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. For each loyalty counter on planeswalkers you control, whenever 1 or more loyalty counters are put on planeswalkers you control, put that many 1/1 counters on Bioessence Hydra. I like it. Ooh, and a foil forest. Nice. I like foil lands. I don't know why. I just do. I think they're cool. Vraska. Swarm's Eminence. Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch Deals damage to a player or planeswalker, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Her -2 ability is create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. So, very nice. There's Fibblethip the Lost. I assume I'm pronouncing that correctly. There's no vowels, so it's hard. But 1 blue, 1 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. If it entered from your library or was cast from your library, draw 2 cards instead. If it ever becomes the target of a spell, shuffle it into the owner's library. Not too bad. 1/1 for 2 that lets you draw a card. Not bad at all. And Eternal Skylord, when it enters the battlefield, amass 2, and then zombie tokens you control have flying, so that's nice. Nissa's Triumph is a lot of fun. 2 green, lets you search your library for 2 basic forest cards. If you control a Nissa Planeswalker, instead search your library for up to 3 land cards, not basic lands, land cards. Reveal those cards, put them in your hand, then shuffle your library. I like it. I like it a lot. And another Planeswalker, Narset, Parter of Veils. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Nice. Her -2 ability, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Then you may reveal a non-creature, non-land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. And Widespread Brutality. 2 red, a black, and a colorless to amass 2. Then the army you amass deals damage equal to its power to each non-army creature. I like it. Another Nissa's Triumph. Bond of Insight. Each player puts top 4 cards of the library in your graveyard. And then you get to return 2 instant sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Then exile this. There's a Huatli and Vivian's Arcbow. Pay X, discard a card, look at the top X cards of your library. You may put a creature card with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield, and then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I like it. Of course, I like most green cards. Like that one. Another Bond of Insight. Another Jaya. Ignite the Beacon. Search your library for up to 2 Planeswalker cards. Reveal them. Put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library for 5. That's not terrible. That's a really good uncommon. Prison Realm. 1 white, 2 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, exile target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. When it enters the battlefield, you also get to scry 1. I like the foil on it. Looks good. Liliana's Triumph. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. If you control Liliana Planeswalker, each opponent also discards a card. It's a lot of value for 2 mana. And then Ashiok, which is also not fun to have played against you in a limited environment. Because not only do spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause their controller to search the library, but the minus ability allows a target player to put the top 4 cards of the library into their graveyard. Then you exile each opponent's graveyard. So, yeah, pretty powerful stuff. And it's only -1 and it has 5 loyalty and it only costs 3. Another Dreadhorde Invasion. Not a bad rare to double up on. Evolution Sage is nice. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you get to proliferate. That's nice too. Another Kaya. Neheb, Dreadhorde Champion. 2 red and 2 colorless. Trample. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, you can discard any number of cards. If you do, draw that many cards and add that much red mana. Till end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases in. So, not too bad if you got a handful of lands you don't need. You get to discard him if he does the damage, and draw some stuff you need, and get some mana that you might be able to use to cast what you draw. So not too bad at all. Another Flying Merfolk. Bond of Flourishing. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest to the bottom of your library and gain 3 life. Not bad. And a Chandra. She's 2 red and 2 colorless. Whenever 1 or more loyalty counters are removed from Chandra, Fire Artisan, she deals that much damage to target opponent or planeswalker, which is really great because her minus ability is -7. So you get to do the 7 damage. And you get to exile top 7 cards of your library and play them this turn. So, pretty awesome. Another Death Sprout and another amazing artwork. Another Johnny's Pride Made. Emergence Zone and Nissa. Oops. Whenever you tap a forest for mana, add an additional green +1 ability. Put 3 1/1 counters on up to 1 target non-creature land you control. Untap it. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with vigilance and haste that's still a land. And her -8 gives you an emblem with lands you control have indestructible. Search your library for any number of forest cards, put them onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. I like it a lot. And we're down to 2 more packs. Are we going to get a Nicol Bolas in this box? I hope so, but I'm pretty happy getting that Liliana. It's been pretty happy with this box. I like a lot of the cards that I've pulled. I haven't doubled up on a lot of crappy rares or anything. It's been a good box. Another Liliana's Triumph, another Arlen. Dreadhorde Butcher. I haven't pulled that yet. 1 red, 1 black for a 1/1 with haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, put a counter on him. When he dies, it deals damage equal to his power to any target. Nice. And here we go. The final pack of the box. Paradise Druid, another Bond of Flourishing, another Heartwarming Redemption, and Tameo. Collector of Tales. 1 blue, 1 green, 2 colorless. Spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause you to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. Nice. Her +1, choose a non-land card name. Then reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all cards with the chosen name from among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. And her -3 allows you to return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So, not bad. And I'm pretty sure we did in fact get a Planeswalker in every pack. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Do we count that one? 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. So no, you don't count the foil. So we did in fact get 36 Planeswalkers out of 36 packs. Actually 37 thanks to the foil. So yeah, I guess they're right. And let's see what tokens we got. Some people like tokens. Zombie Army, Servo, Zombie Army, got an emblem, Army. There's that spirit for the Ugin, Wall, Goblin, Army, Devil, Assassin, Zombie Warrior, Soldier, Servo, Goblin, Army. A lot of armies. I like the artwork on this Angel. It's pretty cool. 4/4 Flying Vigilance. Another Army, another Wall. There's our Wizard, Army, Assassin, Devil, Army, Dragon, Servo, Army, Wizard, and a Wolf. So yeah, all in all, pretty good box. Pretty happy with everything I got. Extremely happy about the Liliana. Now I just got to figure out a way to make a deck around her. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching the video, and enjoy the new set, guys.